Goodeids are one of my favorite live bearers that I keep here in the fish tank barn. While they aren't as colorful as their guppy or swordtail cousins, they are truly stunning and fascinating fish. But due to habitat destruction, they are struggling in their native environment, and some species have even become extinct in the wild. So let's go ahead and learn more about these special fish and their care. The majority of goodeids hail from central Mexico, mainly in the Mexican plateau. Like we mentioned earlier, many of these species have become rare and extinct in the wild due to the destruction of their native habitat. However, the aquarium trade has done a great job at keeping these fish around and preserving them, and even introducing them back into their native environment. I have found that goodeids are fairly hardy and a great fish to keep. One of the great aspects about goodeids is that you don't need a heater. They're completely happy with a temperature in the low 70s to high 60s Fahrenheit. Most species will actually fall apart if you let the temperature get too hot for too long of a period of time. I really don't like to keep my goodeids above 75 degrees. There are even some species that don't even like to get above 70. Like their other live bearer cousins, you do want to keep these fish in harder, higher pH water. And they do fine in my fish room where the pH hovers around 8. And other than that, goodeids just really like clean and well-filtered water. I personally like to run a sponge filter in most of my goodeid tanks, with my personal favorite being the Aquarium Co-op sponge filter. But if you do a hang-on back or canister filter, I would ensure that you have an intake sponge in order to prevent fry from being sucked into the intake. In terms of tank size, I would not keep goodeids in a tank that's less than 20 gallons, with a 29 gallon or larger being ideal. 40 breeders are one of my favorite tank sizes for goodeids. I do like to keep my goodeid tanks well planted for both the filtration aspects of having the live plants, as well as for fry protection, allowing the places for fry to hide. Goodeids will take a wide variety of food, from appropriate sized flakes, pellets, live, or even frozen food. In terms of temperament, I do find goodeids to be a little bit on the aggressive side, but I have had success keeping them with rainbow fish, plecos, other Pusilla live bearers, and Corydoras catfish. And I would imagine they would do well with many other different kinds of fish as well. Due to the endangered nature of goodeids, I would not recommend that you keep goodeids of different species together in the same tank. This ensures you do not have any issues with interbreeding. One thing that you do need to keep in mind with goodeids is that you need to make sure you keep all the relevant information that is on the tag with the fish. And this includes keeping these fish separate from other fish in the same species that has different tag information. So let's go ahead and look at a tag here, and we'll go ahead and look through some of this information and break down what it means. The first two lines are the Latin name, Scyphia multipunctata, and the common name, splotched Scyphia. The third line has quite a bit of different information on it. So the first section, Lago di Camacuaro, is the specific lake, and Michoacan is the state in Mexico. The second piece of information, Lambert, 1990, is the person's collection from where the fish came from. The fourth line is the ESU designation, SCIMU 1, which stands for Evolutionary Significant Unit, which is used to express an isolated population with different genetic characteristics within the same species. So needless to say, you will need to keep this information in mind when you're getting fish from different sources, and making sure you keep the information if you pass these fish on to fellow hobbyists. While goodeids are live bearers, like their cousins, the guppy and the platy, there are some stark differences when it comes to goodeid reproduction. The male goodeids do not possess a gonopodium, but instead have a notch on their anal fin. The females, on the other hand, will just have the same rounded anal fin as their other live bearer cousins. The gestation period for goodeids is 60 days as compared to the 30 days with most other live bearers, with the young being quite a bit larger, but many fewer in number, often less than 10. These fry will readily accept a wide variety of appropriately sized baby brine shrimp, flake food, or any other commercially available fry food. Before we leave talking about goodeid reproduction, I do want to talk about one other thing. While they're still inside the female, the young are attached to an umbilical cord-like structure called the crophotania, which does perform the same nourishing function as the umbilical cord in humans. I do definitely find this pretty interesting, and definitely another reason we do need to keep goodeids around. So now that we've learned about goodeids and how rare they are, you're probably going to ask, where can I find goodeids? Well, you're more than likely not going to find these fish at your local aquarium store. So some great places to find goodeids are Aquabid, your local aquarium club, local auctions, and the American Livebearers Association. But if you're looking for some good information on goodeids, I would make sure to check out the Goodeid Working Group, which is an organization that is committed to the conservation and education regarding goodeid species. And I'll go ahead here and put a link in the description. So I definitely do hope you enjoyed taking this look at goodeids, which I find are very fascinating fish. And maybe this has inspired you into getting into these wonderful fish yourself. So with that being said, stay safe, stay fishy, and we'll see you on the next video.